Welcome back to another explainer. Have you ever wondered what exactly stands between your Georgia business and, say, a massive out-of-state expansion, or maybe a crucial round of investor funding? You'd probably assume it's some giant mountain of bureaucratic red tape, right? Well, the answer might actually surprise you. Okay, let's dive into this. $10. Literally, $10. That is often the only thing standing between your legal entity and its next major leap forward. It's just a single $10 state document. Now contrast that with the hundreds of dollars charged by these third-party scammers who constantly prey on new business owners with those official-looking mailers. Yeah, we're going to bypass all of that noise today. We're looking directly at the source material to show you exactly how to get this essential document efficiently and, most importantly, affordably.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Here's our roadmap for today. We've got 1. Definition and importance. 2. Eligibility requirements. 3. The application process. 4. Processing time and costs. 5. Troubleshooting in FAQs. And finally, 6. Renewal and maintenance.
All right, starting off with Section 1, definition and importance. What exactly is this thing? So the very first thing to note here, and this trips people up, is that Georgia doesn't actually call this a certificate of good standing. Officially, they call it a certificate of existence if you're a domestic entity, or a certificate of authorization for foreign ones. This whole thing is issued by the Corporations Division of the Georgia Secretary of State. Now, what's really fascinating from a legal standpoint is that this document acts as prima facie evidence. Basically, that means it carries some major legal weight to prove your business is active and compliant. But, and this is a big but, unlike some other states where the certificate is absolute conclusive evidence, Georgia actually allows it to be challenged in court, if there's suspicion of fraud or maybe a clerical error happened during issuance. So why does this actually matter to you? Well, frankly, you don't need this document for your day-to-day operations or even for filing your standard taxes. But the exact moment you want to grow, it becomes mandatory. If you're trying to secure a new line of credit, bring on outside investors, or open a business bank account, they're absolutely going to ask for this. And most importantly, if you're expanding your Georgia business into another state, which is a process called foreign qualification, that new state is going to demand an original certificate of existence from Georgia. And get this, it usually can't be more than 90 days old. It's an absolute necessity for growth. Moving right along to Section 2, eligibility requirements. Who actually qualifies for this? And this brilliantly illustrates the divide here. There is a very clear line. Certificates of existence are only for entities formally registered with the state. So if you're an LLC, a corporation, a limited partnership, or a professional corporation, you are totally eligible. On the flip side, though, if you're operating as a sole proprietorship, a general partnership, or an independent contractor, you aren't formally registered in that same way, meaning you actually cannot get this certificate. Okay, Section 3, the application process. Let's walk through a straightforward guide on how to actually do this. Here's your chronological step-by-step for the Georgia eCourt portal. Step 1 is without a doubt the most critical part. You absolutely must be fully compliant before you even start clicking around. That means all your taxes and annual reports have to be completely up to date. For Step 2, you'll head over to the Secretary of State's eCourt portal. Step 3, search for your business entity and double-check that your status reads exactly as active/compliance. Because if it doesn't, you've got to fix those underlying issues first. Finally, Step 4, you simply pay the fee and generate your certificate. Super easy. Now, I really want to share a highly specific technical insight straight from our sources because this is going to save you a massive headache. Since the state's system generates the document immediately right there in your browser, you really need to set up your digital environment correctly. The state explicitly recommends clearing your browser cache and keeping only one single tab open. That just prevents data conflicts. Also, make sure you actually have a reliable PDF viewer, like Adobe Reader, installed. Doing these quick little prep steps prevents those really frustrating portal glitches right when you hit that generate button. Which brings us to Section 4, processing time and costs. Essentially, how long does this take and how much is it going to set you back? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the massive contrast in efficiency between the two methods. If you use the online eCourt portal, your base filing fee is literally just $10. Sometimes there's a tiny service charge pushing it to $20, but that's it. And the processing time? Immediate. It generates instantly. No expediting needed whatsoever. But if you choose to go old school and mail in a paper application, it takes 10 to 15 business days just for standard processing. And if you suddenly want that paper filing rushed, you're paying an extra $60 for 2-day service or a whopping $275 for same day. The takeaway here? Just file online. Seriously. All right. Section 5, troubleshooting and FAQs, let's look at some common roadblocks. First and foremost, I need to give a massive warning to anyone who just recently formed a new business. You are almost certainly going to receive mail that looks incredibly official. It'll aggressively claim that you need to pay some wildly inflated fee to secure a certificate of existence just to finish your initial registration. Guys, this is incredibly misleading. Brand new domestic businesses in Georgia do not need this certificate to complete their initial setup. You should completely, 100% ignore these overpriced third-party solicitations. They are just trying to make a quick buck off you.
Here's another really crucial question that comes up a lot. What happens if your entity was administratively dissolved? Say, maybe you just forgot and missed an annual report. Well, when that happens, you actually lose the right to conduct new business in Georgia. To fix it, you have to apply for reinstatement, and that requires a $260 fee, plus paying all of your past due penalties, and listen to this part, it's vital. You have a strict 5-year window to get this done. If you wait beyond 5 years, you literally can never reinstate that entity. You'd have to start completely from scratch.
It's also super important to clarify that the Secretary of State portal doesn't work for absolutely everyone. Certain highly regulated professions are totally exempt and have their own separate systems. For example, state-chartered banks and credit unions, they have to use the Department of Banking and Finance portal. Attorneys needing to prove bar standing must go through the State Bar of Georgia, which is a $20 fee. And if you're an attorney seeking federal district court bar admission, well, you'll apply directly through the federal clerk's office for $21. So just know your specific regulatory body. And that leads us perfectly into Section 6, Renewal and Maintenance. Let's talk about long-term compliance.
So the crucial point is this timeline right here. Your entire business standing relies on your annual registration, period. That filing window opens every single year on January 1st, and the absolute strict deadline to pay your $60 fee is April 1st. Now, if you are mailing a paper check, which, again, maybe don't do, but if you do, you should aim for March 15th just as a safety buffer. But here is the ultimate best practice recommendation straight from our sources. Georgia actually allows you to prepay your registration for up to 3 years. Doing this is a brilliant move because it completely shields your business from accidental dissolution just in case some random administrative oversight happens down the road.
I want to leave you with a final thought to really chew on. Is your administrative house truly in order right now? Or is a simple $10 oversight currently the only roadblock standing between your business and its next major expansion, or maybe a massive funding round? I challenge you to log into the Georgia eCorps portal today and just audit your own compliance status. Seriously, do it today. Don't wait until the investors are sitting across from you asking for the paperwork. And as always, the absolute best practice for responsible business management is seeking the right counsel. This explainer is intended for informational purposes only. Please consult legal professionals or official state resources for personalized advice specific to your circumstances. Keep learning, stay compliant, and we will catch you on the next one.